Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's a little chilly. Oh, all right. All right. Let me get this together. Y'all hold 1 second. All right. All right. Good morning, good morning, good morning. All right. So, good morning and welcome to Unscripted with Charles Dixon. Yes, I know that you guys see that I am not in my car at the moment. I shall be a little later, but right now I have a little bit of time, so I'm going to just do this from here for now. All right. So a couple things with today, but I figure some of these questions, sometimes because it's a Friday, I think I can just kind of jump in and grab some things real quick and kind of, I can shift around. There's a couple of questions I can shift around and do, or I could do, I'll throw it on you guys. I could shift around and do some of the, I have like a long question someone sent, and then I have a few kind of smaller, short ones. And we could take a stab at which either one we want. I tell you what, I'll take I'll do the short couple of the short route ones, and we'll go from there. Just give me 1 second. Here I come. Hold on 1 second. All right, let me make sure I got this correct. All right. I gotta check these different sources for these messages. All right. Hold on 1 second. Okay. All right. Okay, so one question. I told everybody I'm going to go to a few things at once. So one question in particular, the lady wanted to know. Wait a minute, is that too much light going on? Is that too bright for y'all? Is it 1 second? Y'all hold 1 second. I'm not trying to blow this all out of control. Maybe that's a little bit better. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. Let me see. Let me get this together. All right. So one lady is in a relationship with the fellow, and let's just cut to the chase. They have been experiencing some pretty heavy. Well, he has been experiencing some erectile dysfunction issues, and this, of course, will affect the overall love game if that's what you choose to do. And they have been at it for a couple of years. She said just shy of 2 years, but she's saying she's kind of at a place where she doesn't really know much of what to do. She says maybe she's not looking in the right areas or getting the right answers, because she said even talking to some of her girlfriends, she brought it up and she was looking for them to kind of give her some answers, but they didn't do it either. So to make a long story short, what she's saying is because he has issues with because he has issues with maintaining his manware. You know how they say spyware or malware, his manware. He's having issues with that. So, he has unfortunate erectile dysfunction issue. He leans toward the oral, and she's like saying, although that's fine and well, she's like, I am tired of just the oral. She wants more, and she's frustrated because she tries to stay on him, and she's constantly telling him, did he go to the doctor? Did he find out this? What about this such and such on the market? This drug, this, that, and the other. Because she says, besides that issue, he's a great guy. But the fact that he has this erectile dysfunction issue, it is causing a heavy strain on the relationship. I will just say this. If that's his plight, he can't help it. And if he can't help it, unless I can understand your frustration if you feel like there are avenues and things that he could do and he's not being proactive to fix that. But shy of that, just, hey, talk to him and just say, look, if we're going to do this, I need to be realistic with you. I appreciate you trying to bridge the gap with that method of pleasure, but it does not end there for me. And that's what you have to say. And I think sometimes women, men think, now we may know in the back of our mind that we are not either complete the job or we're not doing the full job as we would like or whatever. But if you don't say anything and you keep a smile on your face, whether that smile is disingenuous or not, if you don't say anything, he thinks it's okay. And we can live to see another day. And so if that's not the truth, and inside you are burning up because it's not working for you that way, you need to say it. You need to tell them this isn't working, and we need to figure out something, because I'm getting to a place where I'm getting very dissatisfied, and because I care about you, I don't want to step over here to take care of that. So let's try to put our heads together and let's try to work through that. That's without going deep into that, I'm not a doctor, so I can't go into no medical excuses and reasons for what he got going on. The bottom line is he has erectile dysfunction. And so shy of you guys fixing that, or shy of you just saying, look, we just will get through this the best way we can, and I'm not going to complain. Look, there are other alternatives. They have whole toy stores for other alternatives. Now, I know it's not him, it's not physically him, but if you can't get to him right now and he's trying to offer you part B and C, if he's offering you part B, entertain the idea of the toy conversation and see what else you can do to make this work. For those of you who are just popping in, this I'm going through a few quick topics, but this conversation, the first one is about a woman wrote in. She says her person of just shy of 2 years has for some time now has been dealing with erectile dysfunction. She's just kind of at wit's end, because she says the oral alternative is fine, but she said it is not the end all be all for her. In short, she's very dissatisfied. And she's frustrated because she's talked to maybe a close girlfriend or two, or she's been trying to do research and she's been trying to refer him to go see Dr. X and XYZ and all this. And at the end of the day, she feels, that she feels like she's a little closed off and she doesn't know what to do. So I just told her, I said, have the conversation and be honest, but also be open. Like, if you do love him, okay, let's just say this. Sex is very important, but it's not everything, right? So it's very important, but it's not everything. So try to figure out some alternatives. Like I said, go to the toy store, see what other diversions you can come up with or means of pleasure. There's a plethora of them out there in the world. So have at it, but have the conversation, include him in it. Believe it or not, I can imagine it being a very touchy and sensitive topic for a man, for his woman to be dissatisfied with him for something that he probably feels at the moment he has no control over. Like I said, shy of him rejecting help. Like, let's just say if someone had a drinking or drug problem, you said that you wanted to love them and still be there, but they don't want to go to the AA meeting or go to the counselors and get help, then you left with the decision of what am I going to do with this? But, if that's not the case, and if he's trying to get help and he just hasn't found that serum yet, what do you do? But that's why I said, if you care about him, find some alternatives. Go. I mean, I have to believe there's a million and one things out here. I mean, heck, I was joking last year about how I haven't been seeing them advertised here lately, but last year, I know for a good minute, I kept seeing all over social media and different places where they were coming out with these life-size dolls. And they were kind of just created to be like the sexual vixen, the rubber sexual vixen, and they life-size shaped and everything women. And I guess, the whole idea is, if I guess this is supposed to be the toy, the life-size toy for men. And it's supposed to be like, well, have at it. There you go. So I have to believe if they have that level of technology going on out here and creating things on that level, I know there has to be some things that a woman, I have to believe there are far more toys in the world for women than they are for men. So I know there are some things that y'all women need to help the lady. I know y'all know. There are some things that the woman can get to help her out in this situation. The key is to not separate. And when I say separate, I don't even mean divorce or break up. The key is during this process is to stick together, communicate, talk about it. Don't get lost. The problem comes in when you get lost and when you get too stuck in your frustration, your disappointment, and being upset. And when you have too much time to yourself, and God forbid you talk to the wrong girlfriend or somebody, and they're going to say, well, have you just ever considered, I have this friend. He's very nice looking, and he's just looking, he's not looking for something serious, and he just wants a friend. And then here come the suitor. You love the guy at home, but here comes the suitor that don't have the erectile dysfunction issue. So the suitor steps in, and he's open to take care of business, and now you are a functioning addict. You going home and you hanging out and you trying to do the normal white picket fence festivities with the man of 2 years, but there are certain times during that day and that week where you guys separate and you go into your upper room. And that's not going to be fair. So don't do that route, because that's always there. And if you feel like you have to do that route, just leave the relationship. Take my word on that. Going left and going rogue doesn't do anything but destroy things further. Doesn't help anything. Doesn't help you, doesn't help the person, doesn't help your conscience, doesn't help your morality, any of that. So the fact that you are trying to reach out for somebody to throw something your way is a positive sign that you are trying. Even though you're frustrated, you're trying. Now, I would, however, tell you, limit who you tell this stuff to. Nothing is more embarrassing to a man than his woman who may think she means well. She may think, I'll leave my other opinion to the side, but that she thinks she means well, and she's telling intimate details of our bedroom to her friends, especially if the details have to do with inadequacies. No man wants to know 5 or 6 of your girlfriends know he has erectile dysfunction issues. That'll just wreck the relationship. He won't be showing up to nobody's Thanksgiving cookouts or nothing. He's going to disconnect. So, like I said, short of being a doctor and offering you some medical advice, which I'm not, I would just have the conversation and just be honest with where you are. And Bruce, and be honest with where you are, and just tell him, Bruce, for what she said, he's tried all these things and it's just not working. So his default activity is oral sex. She said that's fine, but that is not where she wants the road to end, Bruce. So for her, she's frustrated, and that's a whole problem walking around like that. So that's why I said they got to get together and figure something out. But I say go the toy route, go find something in the interim while you are trying to figure this other part out. If the relationship means that much to you, try to figure that out. Other than that, it's going to be rough. It's going to be rough trying to navigate. So just try that route and see, what happens first. I would suggest that. So hope the lady got something out of that question. Ladies, y'all can throw something in. So I'm going to go to question 2. And some of you all that just got in, I was telling people earlier, I'm going to do a couple of questions that people had sent me some time ago that I didn't get a chance to get to. So I figured out if some of these answers didn't have to be long, I can just go through them and a couple of them and let it go. All right. The next question, lady says, how do I inspire him? She says, he's a great man, but he's content with being stagnant where he is. I see so much in him, but it pains me that he doesn't see it for himself. I'll read that again. How do I inspire him? He's a great man, but he's content with being stagnant where he is. I see so much in him, but it pains me that he doesn't see it for himself. All right. First things first with this one. Unfortunately, the way we men are built and set up, we come fully assembled. Like, how sometimes you may buy something and then you got the box of instructions. Men, in most cases, when you inherit men, you inherit the floor sample. We come just as we are. And so what I'm saying to you, in this case, if a man arrives to you with he's a kind of man that doesn't have a lot of vision, he doesn't have a lot of drive and ambition, you may know that this man might be brilliant, but he'll tell you that he likes his job at the post office and he's not interested in really going to night school or college, online school, and whatever you see in him that he can further he can further delve into to make his life better. Trust me, some men, like I said, if they're a floor sample, if they come as a floor sample, it is what it is. And you can't force something into a person that he don't see for himself. It's either he's going to want to see it, and even if he's not at that place, and he may not feel justified to tell you, I know I got such and such job for now, but I am working on this in the background, working on my law degree. He may not feel like he needs to tell you all that because he may feel like, why do I need to do all these checks and balances to keep her around? So if he's not telling you that, but if he's content and happy in his job, if he's happy where he is, then you're going to have to accept that. If he's happy where he is, I mean, if the man is working, and so what, he may not be working up on Capitol Hill or whatever it is you may want him to do, a Fortune 500, all these things. If he's content in his job and he's gainfully employed, you got to let the man be happy. Or you have to find a strategic way to maybe try to introduce what you're trying to say. But bottom line, you can't make a man evolve into a place that you feel he belongs. It's going to be innately in him to do this. Even if he has a rough patch, even if he's at a moment of pause and things may not be going precisely like he likes, either way he's going to figure it out, because in our DNA we're going to be hustlers and survivors. But like I said, if you envision us coming fully assembled out the box, we also got that tag on us, like you see in the store, that says "as is condition." So if he's in good shape, great, good, fine for you. But if he's defective, he's defective. And that's just that. And that's a God job, not a job that the woman can love out of him. A defective man is a defective. He was perfected. He was perfectly defected in the eyes of God. That's the way he was made. He just may not be the perfect guy for you. But some other person will say, he fits my situation great. He may not work in this, that, and other with you, but he and I get along great. I don't need him to be super busy. He's good just like this with me. He and I have a lot of time to spend. We travel, we enjoy, we put our money together, we have a great time. So this is what I say was sometimes in these relationships, I promise you, some of us are in the way of others. We are dealing with people that we are not content with. We complain about them and all this and all that energy that you're using in dissatisfaction, you could be using to find satisfaction. And in the meantime, you holding up little Keisha's man, her blessing, because you in the way and won't let him go because you selfish. If you don't like what he does and you feel like he doesn't have enough drive for you, and if he's not talking about it, if he's not telling you about his dreams on the pillow and things he wants to do, then look, the man is content with his life. You don't know his entire story to know why he's content. But if he's content with his life, let the man be. We do too many. There are too many Build-A-Bear projects going on. Build a man, that is. Build a bear at the store. We are building too many men. You don't have to build something that is already bred to do what it does. Guess what? Another thing we do, let's I like to do these analogies. Let's take a pit bull dog. Sure, you can breed him and train him to be even far more vicious than he is currently. But in his innate state as a pit bull dog, he knows how to defend himself and he knows how to put the business in a fight or attack. If you mess with him, he just going to innately act a fool because he knows how to. So what I'm saying to you is stop thinking you need to build men. If you get out the way and allow them to survive, you'll see he may not come to produce what you may think or what you may like, but you will see if you get out the way and let him do it and take your enabler's fingertips off of him, he'll figure it out. He'll figure it out. I promise you he'll figure it out. But if you think you need to build him, you're going to build him. And then like we do when we build homes, we go out here and buy a home and it can look nice to everybody, our friends and everybody. That's a nice house. And then what do you always hear the person say that built the house? Yeah, it's nice, but I think we pretty much growing out of here. I'm going, I think I got my ideas on something else I'm trying to build, because it's just, that's how we become, a lot of times we think we want to build something. And after we done took all the time to build it, it is no longer desirable. And now we're on to the next project. So you don't want to be a project manager, ladies. Don't be a project manager. Stop trying to build the man. Let him be who he is organically. You cannot tell a man how to be a man. Just like he can't tell you how to be a woman. He can't make you to be a clone of his mother and all that. He can't tell you. So, and like you said, and vice versa, you can't make him. Let people be who they are organically. That's the easiest I can tell you. And don't get into this thing where you're trying to control people and so on and so forth. If that question is enough, hopefully, I will move on to the next and last one. Okay. All right. The next thing is, oh, 1 second. Let's see the other question. All right. Okay. The lady is saying, for once, this question is a little different. There is no real drama attached to this one. Like there is no, he did this, she did this, that, and the other. The plight with them, it's not a perfect picture, but the plight with this lady that wrote in, she's pretty much talking about kind of similar to I guess I would say similar to the last question. But what she's pretty much saying is, how do I date him? And how do I date this guy that she's really into, she really likes, but she she knows that there's a huge gap in their earnings. There's a huge gap in their earnings. And she's, unlike the last question, the woman was trying to say, How do I motivate him to be better and for more and this, that, and the other? This person is saying she wants to know, how do she walk? How can I walk with my man knowing that I am extremely successful? He may not be as successful. And she feels like she doesn't parade her things and her lifestyle in his face, but it is what it is. She says she has a big house and all of the things that come with her career. He doesn't. He has a one bedroom and he has a kind of an opposite lifestyle. And she's trying to understand, how can she do this with this nice person that she's met and she likes? How do I date him and move along without making him feel indirectly inferior to me and what I have built for myself, and so on and so forth. All right. Well, number one, I would say to remove the mindset of comparison. Like, take away what you have, what he has, and just enjoy the person. If you stick to tomatoes, you might say all day long that he's nice and that I know we're different and I know we're in a different salary cap space and all this, but I just want to enjoy him without making him feel intimidated. That mindset alone is subservient. Just that mindset alone is you're already placing yourself on a pedestal. Just because you make more money than somebody doesn't give you an opportunity to upstage them. Just because you make more money, we are not the sum total of our yearly salaries. We are people. Period. A person can have a heart of gold, but just may not make the same money you make. Doesn't make them less deserving or just, you need to position yourself in a different way. Don't act any different. Okay, you lived your life. You're successful. You went to school. You did these things to put you where you are. Just live your life. Let him live his life. Don't get into these comparisons and trying to figure out, what happened here and how can I tiptoe around him. If he's with you and he knows what you're doing and how you living and where you live, and if he hadn't said nothing to you, don't you worry about it. Now, I will say this on the flip side. I'm not going to lie and I would tell anybody, you always got to shake the apple tree up, see what falls down, because you don't want to be used, right? You don't want to be played and used, because it's easy to play a mark. And a mark is an unsuspecting person holding a lot of groceries, meaning you got a good job, you have this, you got a great car, you got great credit, you got all these things. You look just like the person coming out the grocery store with a handful of groceries. If somebody wanted to bother you, they could get you and you couldn't do nothing about it because your hands are full. So when you go telling men that your hands are full, you got to look out and hope that the person that you are dealing with is sincere. If not, you can get yourself played. So that's why I said lose the mindset, lose that comparison, lose that whole money thing, period. Because at this point, you all are dating and you like him. He's not your husband. I mean, you didn't even really say you were in a relationship. You just really, really like him and you're dating him. So some of these things we need to just put to the back, unless, and I'm only saying this because however your makeup mentally is about this situation, it is what it is. So I'm saying that to say, if money for you, if status, career, if all of that stuff is paramount, then don't fool yourself into thinking you will ever find contentment with someone that is not your financial equal or greater or close to. Don't fool yourself into thinking that if that, like I said, if you know you don't subscribe to that, don't do it. Like, okay, perfect example. The other night when we had the conversation room, we were kind of joking and laughing, and we were kind of rehashing that show called Love is Blind on Netflix. We were talking about that. And, some of the women were saying, oh, if the guy was like this, and yeah, I was, they were all kind of, some of them were sharing their sentiments about wanting to experience that high, that euphoric high. And so I said to one of the persons on the panel, what if that person was one of these people and he was great and he came on there, and before you guys saw each other, he made you feel warm and fuzzy. And then when you got to see him, the attraction was there. And then because this particular person, she kind of riled off a whole lot of career points. You know, she put it out there that she says when she meets men, she has to dummy down her careers because she has her hands in a lot of pots, but she only pronounces one because she doesn't want to give him too much. But when I told her, I said, so if you found this person and he's ready to be blind love and take you on and all this, and I said, what if he had job XYZ? And I think I used like UPS or post office. I said, what if he was a great guy, but that's where he worked? She didn't have an answer. She paused and she was like, I don't know, because truth be told, people aren't honest. People know if we just call it spade a spade. It's good to say somebody's a good man or a good woman, but when you from your perspective, when you have built your life, your career in a certain way to get to this particular place, you want somebody that's either higher than you or that you can look at the same or close in your range. Because in your mind, it makes you think, well, I don't have to worry about feeling like this person is trying to take something from me because they have something to lose as well. They have property, they have this, they have a great life, a great job, whatever. And so when you have these deficits in relationships, people are always thinking, what is that other person's angle and purpose for really being here? So that's why I said, if you know that that part means something to you, then be honest, because I'm gonna tell you, good treatment would only last for so long. And a lot of times, let's just be honest again. A lot of times, and I don't know if this is your situation, but I'm gonna take a stab at it. A lot of times, women will come out of a relationship or a dealing with a guy precisely like they want. He has the career, the look, all of this, sex, all of those things were great, except the trouble in the relationship could not sustain the relationship because maybe the person, maybe he belonged to someone else. Maybe he's married. Maybe he whatever. Maybe he cheated, whatever. But so what women will do is sometimes they will come off a vacation, and vacation is being with the person that has all those things, except the vacation gets interrupted with bad news or trouble. So let's consider that the vacation. They come off vacation and then they come back and say, you know what? I sure wish I could stay on vacation, but I got to get back to reality. And reality for a lot of women is the man that is not her equal financially, or the man who may not have all those ducks in a row like she does, may not have his own house, may not have great credit. He may not drive the kind of car that's, I mean, heck, a lot of women, if they're really out here doing it, a lot of these women got better cars than men. They do. And so if he's not coming in that way, so you call yourself basically marking yourself down on clearance and saying, let me go over and get back to normal and get on the clearance rack and see how life is over here. And you go over there and you deal with the person. And so the rebound guy, the normal guy, is fine for a period of time. And after a while, that other side of you is going to raise back up, and you are going to go back to desiring to go on vacation yet again, meaning going to where this particular type of man lives and breathes so that I can feel like I have arrived. Sometimes women desire these kind of men because it makes them feel like all of my schooling and college and education is not in vain. I am validated to receive this level of man. And so that's what they look for. But in reality, career money does not make a man. It doesn't. It does. I mean, it doesn't make his. It doesn't. Because you can have a man that has all the money in the world. It can have terrible morality. Could be very disrespectful towards women. Could be just abuse. All types of things. Money doesn't justify integrity. It doesn't. So we got to get that part out of our head. I get it. I understand curbside appeal and aesthetics in a relationship. And I know people want to feel like sometimes you are dealing with someone who matches your swag, for lack of better words. You want to know when you tell them, meet me over here because my girlfriends are having a mixer and we having like a get together. You want to know that the man going to come up and going to represent, and your friends going to say, girl, where you find him at? You don't want him coming in the door looking like, and you saying to yourself now, why did he wear that? I could have picked him out something else. You know, y'all do that. But nonetheless, you want that man that matches your energy, matches your style, all that. And sometimes we tend to paint that picture in our head to look and be a certain way. And in some cases, it may not. I mean, guess what? Those same women that'll say that guy who comes in the door looking, I guess, looking the par or being the way that you may want him to be, he may come in the door looking away, but I guarantee you that other guy that may come in there normal dress, maybe he look like Local Steve, as you may put it, whatever. I guarantee you there's a few other women that's in that crowd that's going to say, girl, shoot, he's a decent guy. He's not bad looking. I will take him. I guarantee you they will. They'll make it. And you sitting around here trying to impress them and live up to their standards, and they will take him as is conditioned. Believe it. So, I mean, before I go, I mean, I hope that was able to help the lady's question. But I mean, in short, the easiest takeaway with that I can give you is to just not remove that whole money dynamic, remove that pompous kind of attitude. Just be humble. Everything that everybody has, everybody should be thankful for it, whether you got a little or a lot. So nobody is truly really deserving of any of it. So if you got it, just be thankful that you have it. And don't get into this money competition thing. Your road to where you got to is your road, and his road to where he is his road. Doesn't make either road bad. It's just what it is. So, take that with that and remove the money thing and just get into the relationship of how he makes you feel, how you make him feel, and how you all interact together. Now, don't be silly for nobody. Don't just put on some dark Stevie Wonder shades and go on and let it be. Open your eyes and be smart, because again, there are some opportunists in the world, and there are some people that know when they recognize a mark, and you will get taken advantage of. But if we just talk in normalcy, and if the person is just trying to come on the straight and narrow and be with you, then let's go with that and let it be, and don't make it more harder than what it has to be. If you really like the guy sincerely, and if he's not a default choice, that's another thing, ladies, stop getting involved with the default choice. If he is not what you desire, then that means either adjust you, become a little more humble, a little more grateful. Other than that, if he's not what you like, if he doesn't give you the spark, if he doesn't give you the chemistry, that just means then you need to continue to watch, wait, and listen. It's just not time, but doesn't mean to activate the default choice, because a lot of times we end up with the default choice and we become lazy, and we end up marrying the default choice and living miserable lives because we never forgive ourselves, and we become resentful for settling. So you don't want to do that. So again, if it's not what you think it should be in your mind and how you feel it should be and all this, then that means you need to continue to wait. That's it. Anyway, hope I was able to help you guys with those. I'll come back next week with something fresh off the box. But I had to get these questions. They were in the queue and I hadn't talked about them. So I don't want people to think that I was ignoring their questions. Anyway, as usual, let's continue to heal the world one heart at a time. And thanks for tuning in to Unscripted this morning and being patient with me. And hope you guys have a great weekend. And as usual, love you guys. Take